All right, let's try some Precision Hunter. Let's go. What's up, guys? Joe here from ScruffyArms.com and the Scruffy Fam. So today we're here at the range again with the Remington 700 SPS Tactical. So yesterday we got this thing sighted in, and I used the Hornady black ammo, and it was 160 grain or 168 grain AMAX bullets, and we did a pretty good grouping, and we averaged under 1 MOA. So that's good. Just straight up target ammo. Did great out of that. So today we're going to step it up a notch. We're going to try this Precision Hunter, and this is a 178 grain ELDX. There you go. There's all the box posted stuff. Now none of those velocities are going to be correct because this is a 16.5 inch barrel. Their test barrel was probably a 24 inch barrel if I remember correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just send 6 to 12 rounds down there. We're going to see how these things group out of this 16.5 inch barrel. And I've got, I think, 8 or 9 more different types of ammo that we're going to try out of this. And we're going to see what groups best out of this Remington 700 with a 16.5 inch barrel. So I'm going to get everything loaded up, get my hearing protection on, and we'll start sending some rounds. Alright, here we go. Got 3 rounds loaded up. In case this is your first time watching any of these videos, so this is a Remington 700 SPS Tactical in 308 Winchester. It has a 16.5 inch barrel. It is threaded. On it I've got an Area 419 Hellfire muzzle brake, just to tame it a little bit more. You really don't need to with a 308, but it'll help it stay really flat shooting so I don't move off the paper a lot. And on top of it, I have a Right-On 3x18x50 first focal plane MRAD reticle. This is new from Right-On. They announced it at SHOT Show. It's only been out for a couple months so far. And it is supposed to be a crossover between target and hunting, which I think is really, really cool. So I'm trying it on my 308 to see what I think of it. I'll do a full review on it later, but yeah, really, really cool optic. Also, one of the really, really awesome things that Remington did was they teamed up with Timney. So all Remington 700s that were produced since July of this year have a Timney trigger on it. I wasn't sure the production on this one, so when I took it out of this stock, I saw the Timney trigger and I was super excited. So there's a Timney trigger. This is a Hogue overmolded stock. I just have a Harris-style bipod on the front. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing shooting. So let's see how it does. Alright, so 178 grain Precision Hunter ELDX. Sending it down. Alright, I don't think it likes this ELDX. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so this is shooting really, really low, like 1 mil low. Alright, so just for sake of doing the grouping, I'm going to make an adjustment here. Alright, so I need to go hooey, 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 hooey. Alright, so let's go. Alright. Whew, alright, I'm going to load up 3 more. We'll send 3 more down. That first group is probably a 2-inch group. Okay? Alright, let's load up 3 more. that was a little bit better. Now we're looking at about 1.5 inches. So that's 6 shots so far, and this barrel's not even hot. That's pretty cool. That's what getting a little bit thicker barrel does. All right, I'm gonna let this cool for just a minute. We'll load up 3 more. We'll shoot again. May not like this super heavy. So 178 grains is really heavy for a 308. This has a 1 in 10 twist, so that may just not be the right one. 168 did okay. 178 may be a bit too far. All right, guys, I loaded up another 3 rounds. Let the barrel cool off. Let's send another 3 down. Okay, so we're gonna try another 3 here. Okay, well, that did much better. All right, we're gonna send 3 more down, then we'll finish this up. We'll take everything home and measure it, and we'll wrap this up. That group was much, much better. That group is about 1 inch. Alright, well, that one was doing good, and then jumped quite a bit. So, well, it might be a 1 and some change group. We got another about, oh, it's about a 3/4. And we got a almost 3-inch group. This was a little all over the place today. So, we're going to go ahead, we're going to pull that target, we'll go home, we'll measure everything, and we'll wrap it up. Alright, so I thought I'd show you guys this before I go home and measure it, and we'll wrap it up when I get home. But, so remember, I wasn't zeroed with this, I was zeroed with 168 grain. So the 178 grain, the first time it was down here. So we're talking, that's 1.5 inches from the center of that down. So there's about almost a 2-inch difference between the 168 and the 178 grain. And if you look, there's 1 here and then 2 here. So this is a 3-inch square. So I'm going to go, that's almost a 3-inch group, but we will measure it. And then I adjusted the scope just so that we could get on the paper, because if I didn't do that, we'd be shooting off the paper here. And this, again, these are 3 inches from here to here. Okay, so that is a 2 3/4 inch group. Then we shot again, and we were able to get, that's under 1 inch. And then we came down here, and that is probably 1 3/4. So, pretty inconclusive. I mean, it can do a good group with this Precision Hunter, but 1 out of 4 I'm gonna go with, this is probably not the best grain weight for this. Precision Hunter works really great in some of my rifles, but in this 16.5-inch barrel for the 308, 178 grain, while it is possible, that's a low percentage. So we'll go measure everything. I'll give you what the average of all 4 of them was. But the reason I'm doing 4 shots of the same ammo from the same box is you guys can see what that is. And I'll have to review my shooting, make sure it wasn't me doing any of that, because I'm not a precision shooter. But for most people, this will kill a deer, no problem. All right, see you guys at home after I get this measured, and we'll wrap it up. All right, guys, back at the house, got everything measured out. Not what I was really expecting out of this 178 grain ELDX. So the last time we were at the range, we fired 168 grain AMAX bullets from the Hornady Black line. Now I've got 10 different types of ammo. Okay, so we're gonna go through each one of these individually at the range. I want to give everybody a fair shake here. But we averaged a 1.83 inch group out of our 4 groups. And the only reason it got brought down that low was because we had one group that was a 0.74 inch group. Now, that tells me that it is capable of doing those smaller groups, but it's consistently over, I would say, 1 3/4 inch group is honestly what you can expect with this ELDX ammo for the 308 and a 16.5 inch barrel. Now, funny enough, I've owned 2 other 308 rifles. One was a 20-inch barrel and one was a 22-inch barrel. They both had a 1 in 10 twist, and the 22-inch barrel shot about a 3/4 inch group with the 178 grain, and the 20-inch barrel shot about a 1 to 1 1/4 inch group. So this is what we're looking at today. Okay, so our first group was a 2.82. We, based on how low this was, so remember I zeroed with a different ammo, so I was aiming here. This was my point of impact. So just for the sake of making sure everything stayed on paper, I made an adjustment, and then we got a 1.98 group. Okay, then did another 0.74 group, so I waited, shot these, waited, let the barrel cool down, shot this, got a 0.74, and then shot this and got a 1.78. So I was super encouraged after this and thought, okay, maybe I just need to season the barrel, not a big deal. But then we went back to something like that. So all of those will kill a deer at 100 yards. Every single one of those will kill a deer at 100 yards. This is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and all 12 shots landed on this paper. That means all 12 shots will hit in the breadbasket of a deer at 100 yards, no problem. Okay, so as far as hunting goes, 3 out of the 4 of these groups would hammer a deer really, really well. One group a little concerned about. So with all of that said, I don't think I can recommend the Hornady Precision Hunter 178 grain ELDX out of the Remington 700 SPS Tactical 16.5 inch barrel. Unfortunate, but we'll be going to the range for the next type of ammo, see how it does. So until then, see you guys next time.